Were you more surprised, Keyshawn, though?
Yes.
Because you did not pick the Cowboys to win. And we have what?
I didn't say anything.
You be shooting me these looks like, how dare you? You didn't pick them to win.
No, I did not.
You didn't. But it was a dominant win. So you more surprised by the contracts or by the Cowboys win?
I am absolutely surprised by the Cowboys win. The contract, we talked about this all the way since last season.
Yeah.
They need to extend him. They need to extend him. Somebody's going to give him the money. He's going to be a $60 million quarterback. So I'm not surprised by that at all. I'm surprised that Cleveland didn't put a game together, so to speak. I'm surprised that Deshaun Watson, after being, injured last year, injured the year before, set out the year before, basically. I mean, he hasn't had a full season of football in 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I was surprised. I just thought that Cleveland at home, opening day, no CeeDee Lamb in training camp, all the training camp, contract issues, that they would catch the Dallas Cowboys, I guess you could call it by surprise. They ended on a good note, although Joe Flacco was their quarterback in the playoffs against the Texans and they lose that game. I just thought, okay, Deshaun's going to hit, and all of a sudden they're going to be all right. But little to me, that tells you how much I know about football. So people out there in the social media world, you can blast me and talk crazy and tell me and all that.
I don't think we have to be that dramatic.
You was a Cowboy, too.
It has nothing to do with who I play for, though, Paul. I'm not here.
Got a little biasness.
No, I don't. I'm not here to protect the Cowboys or the Jets or the Bucks or the Panthers. I'm not. I'm not here to protect USC.
He gets paid by Fox now.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
I am here to protect Mr. Murdoch.
Starts, I'm here to protect the Celtics.
You just like Michael. I ain't gonna never say nothing bad about him.
I'm gonna lay that out right now.
It's fine. You can have your biases as long as you announce them. I thought they were going to win. I don't think very, very highly of the Browns. I think they scraped it together and did a good job last year. But I am just need to be convinced that Deshaun Watson is going to get back to his form.
I understand.
And there's no evidence over the past 3 years that he's going to be able to do that, including yesterday. So that is what I expected to see. I didn't expect the Dallas defense to walk off a cliff, which a lot of people were talking about. So the contract is more surprising to me that it actually got done. And, of course, it gets done week one of NFL Sunday in the morning, which was full of lots of news. But I'm not surprised that he got a contract. I'm just surprised that it got done, thinking that it took so long. And what is the deal with Dallas? Yeah. Y'all always end up giving them the money. Like players get everything they want. They drag these out. I'm almost on the conspiracy that Jerry does this so that we keep talking about the Cowboys every week, because they are going to get their money and they're going to get the contract done. CeeDee, Zeke, Dak the first time. It always happens. So, but I am surprised it was announced when it was.
But he's a headline writer, though, so he understands headlines.
I was shocked.
Maybe he's got us.
I was shocked. I was more surprised by the contract because all the signs pointed toward the way Jerry Jones was talking was like, we want to see what's up with the regular season. We want to see what he do in the playoffs, right? So when I'm watching the game and they go across, they're like, Dak, 260. I was like, whoa.
Did he go in your closet?
I was like, whoa. Yeah, I can rock that. Hey, listen, my boy, listen, when you make it 260, you can wear whatever you want. You smell like money out here. You know what I'm saying? You smell like money, Dak. But I was shocked at that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought like, hey, you got to show me better than you can tell me. Playoffs, you got to be better. So when that came up across my phone, it came across the TV, I was like, whoa, get your money, Dak.
Yeah,
so I was very shocked.
4 years, $240 million, $80 million signing bonus. That's an NFL record. Woo. $231 million guaranteed. That's the most in league history. Average annual value of $60 million. So he's the highest paid player in NFL history, and he's now signed through the 2028 season. Paul, you've made some money.
Yeah, I made some big contracts.
How much pressure do athletes feel after they get a big deal, though?
Like for me, Joy Key, I really didn't even look at the money. I always just like, let me do my best. The money gonna come. Because I just remember when my deal was time to me to do extension, my agent was just like, hey, all right, this is the deal, go sign. I'm like, all right. Then I'm back in the gym. I didn't really think about, did I have to live up to it? I always just thought like, if I just go out there and continue to get better, do what I do, I'll be all right. But there is some guys, like, look, I will tell you this. They get the money, and then they disappear. Like, for real. Like, I ain't gonna say no names.
Yeah, but
like,
guys like you don't disappear.
No, exactly.
People that disappear, dudes that had 1 year, 2 years, not dudes that had career. They don't disappear.
Right.
Yeah, Dak's not going to disappear.
No, Dak ain't going nowhere.
I ain't worried about Dak. No.
Yeah.
He's trying to get to the next $400 million.
Did you feel pressure when you got paid?
No, none at all. I wouldn't even. No, not at all. Not one. Why would I? I mean, like at the end of the day, Joy, it's like my focus was trying to help the team win. I got the money. Like when I was playing. When I was playing, I wasn't even worried about an extension. I was letting my agent Jerome handle all that. He would deal with it.
He was getting paid in college, though. So by the time
whether I was getting paid in college or not, that's not doesn't matter.
He wasn't new to this.
No, he wasn't new to this.
No, that may be true for some.
The man was living in the Wilshire corridor in college.
Yes, that is correct.
So he came into the league with a silver spoon.
Can I help you with your bags, Mr. Johnson? Yes, that is what they said. I'm not shy about it at all whatsoever. That's part of the game. But there was no pressure. When I left in the trade and I got the big money in my trade pre-signed deal to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the only thing that pressured me was to make sure that I hold my end of the bargain on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
But that was it. I wasn't like stressed out about it.
Well, the question with Dak isn't what he can do during the regular season or the level at which he can play. He was an All-Pro last year and an MVP finalist. The question at this point in his career is what he can do in the postseason. And that journey this year started yesterday. How high are you on the Cowboys after their dominant win over the Browns, Keyshawn?
I'm not high, I'm not low. I've seen this movie before. I've seen them go up to New York last year. And after Daniel Jones had beaten Minnesota in the playoffs and got his big money and whatnot, they opened up a can on the New York Giants. It was 50 donut, okay? So they went on to have a 12-win season, but to allow Jordan Love to come into the house when they got the second seed in Green Bay as the last seed to beat them down. So I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I needed to play out a certain way. Now, we all joke about where I had them starting up the season. Obviously, Cleveland, they beat. Now the task is New Orleans. New Orleans put up a nice number on the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers aren't a good football team. There's no question about it. But they took care of business against Carolina.
Yeah.
Now they face the Dallas Cowboys. Well, the Dallas Cowboys allowed New Orleans Saints to come into their house and do similar things to them that they did to the Carolina Panthers. That's where the problems are with Dallas. It's not that Dallas is not a good football team. It's they win one game, then I'm gonna get Michael here with me later on, and Michael gonna be acting like they won the damn Super Bowl. That's the problem with the Dallas Cowboy fans is they get caught up. They get caught up. They keep forgetting they gotta go to San Francisco after the bye.
Yeah.
They keep forgetting that. They're gonna have to see the Baltimore Ravens in week 3. They forget Pittsburgh just kicked 6 field goals and won. They're going to have to see Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
We'll talk about Pittsburgh later. I'm the same on the Cowboys as I was before the game. I thought that they would win this game, so I'm not surprised. I don't know if they'll get back to 12 wins, but I think they're a playoff team.
Yes.
I think they'll beat bad teams. They'll lose to a couple good teams. They'll be right where they usually are, which is the postseason. Whether they'll win the division or not, they'll be in contention for it. They're a good football team.
That is correct.
They have a franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott, who is a very, very good player. So the thing that was interesting to me, though, was the defense. Because they were tremendous. Sacked Deshaun Watson 6 times. I understand that Browns' offensive line is kind of disarray right now. But sacked him 6 times, picked him off twice, held Amari Cooper to 16 yards, allowed 54 yards and 1 first down in the first half. Micah Parsons had 1 sack. 5 quarterback hits. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Eric Kendricks tied the team with 9 tackles. He had a big day. They really showed up as a defense, looked solid, took advantage of the Browns not playing well and Deshaun Watson not looking like Houston, which at this point I don't even know if we should say anymore because when was the last time he looked like Houston? But I like that they were dominant and they looked similar to what they were last year because that was their calling card last year. As good as the offense was, the defense was equally as dominant, and taking the ball away was a big part of what they did. So I really, really like seeing that about the Cowboys. But how high are you on them, Paul?
I wasn't really too high on them, Joy and Key, going into the season, but I saw a lot of good things from them yesterday. I like the fact that they did give Dak the contract, so now he can relax. He can go out and play. CeeDee Lamb he can relax, go out and play. They could compete with Philly in the division. And as far as how high do I think this team can get to the Super Bowl, I don't know yet. But I think they'll be more competitive than I thought initially. And, you know, oh man, I don't know. I'm on the fence with them right now. I mean, I just feel like with the Cowboys, it's just gonna turn into a reality show at some point.
It was a reality show before.
Yeah, it was.
You know, Joy, I want to see them beat some teams above 500.
Yeah.
Let's start that. Now they get a chance against New Orleans Saints, which is one game in. But let me start to see that because they struggled against that last year. They struggled against beating teams above 500.
Yeah, they took advantage of the weaker opponents, and then they struggled against the playoff teams.
Yeah, so let's see that. Give me a little bit of time before I start feeling like they getting ready to make some noise in the NFC.
Can you admit that you liked what you saw from them defensively, at least?
Yeah, but I always liked Mike Zimmer. Zim was my DC. So I like Zim. I liked him in Minnesota as a coach. He just could never figure out how to get over the hump and once they made it to the playoffs. I think they got a phenomenal defensive coordinator who understands where to put Michael Parsons in the right situations to make the right plays and do some of the right things. But I'm not yet there. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to go, oh, my God, Saquon Barkley, they get Philadelphia. They're getting ready to stop him. He's only going to have 20 carries and 40 yards. I'm not ready to do that yet.
Well, maybe Michael will convince you when he gets up here. I'm sure he's ready to talk to you about that. But let's talk about the Browns for a second. The Browns, they did not look good on Sunday. Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland offense started hearing boo birds from the home fans in the first half, and things did not get much better from there. Is it already time for them to panic in Cleveland?
Oh, my God, yes. It's one game in, and they're going to panic because they got Pittsburgh, they got Cincy, they got Baltimore. Let's just stay in the division. It's a very hard division. And much like you've been saying throughout the show thus far, they have a quarterback in Deshaun Watson that, what we do, we could have just signed Joe Flacco and kept him.
We could have kept Baker Mayfield.
Well, yeah, we could have that conversation too. But in the end, the heat is coming on to them. Yes, Kevin Stefanski was the coach of the year. I don't know how that happened without DeMeco Ryans being the coach of the year, given the fact that he took a team that wasn't expected to do anything with C.J. Stroud and company and made it to the second round of playoffs. We're coming into the year and the high hopes and everything that we saw with Chubb and Amari Cooper and what they got on the defensive side of the ball with Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson on the offensive side at the quarterback position. We assumed a year ago that this team was going to be great.
Yeah.
This year coming back, we assumed that this team was going to be great, just like the fan base. They ready to go dog heaven up in Cleveland. But now there's going to be some conversations coming up as the week goes on and weeks come on and they start to maybe lose games, although this first half of the schedule is in their favor, doesn't mean anything because it's all on paper. And when it's all on paper and you don't deliver, people are going to start saying, man, we got to look to replace certain guys. That's just the reality of professional sports.
I think they should panic every single day until they see some version of Deshaun Watson that shows that he is going to be back to his old self. They need some level of consistency from him. It's been enough time. It's entirely possible that he's lost it.
We think it's been enough time.
Y'all just ain't got no patience.
Right?
Patience, but here's the thing, Paul. It's been 2020. Since we've seen him play well for an entire season.
He got to get warmed up.
You don't get that much time to warm up. I mean, how many stretches do you need?
You got to stretch. You got to get warmed up.
It's time. This
we
is
don't
the year.
count. We can't count the 2021 year because of the suspension.
Yeah.
So we get rid of that.
All right.
But like she said, 2020.
Okay.
Then you skip over 2021.
All right.
2022, he played 6 games.
Right.
23, he played 6. And thus far, the one game that we did see doesn't look good at all.
Right.
In this season. So I understand where Joy's coming from.
I don't think it's going to get no worse than that, though.
If it get worse than that, he got to get benched.
And the Dallas Cowboys are formidable.
But here's the problem. Like, and I don't want to. Yes, they are. They look formidable.
Y'all get on my nerves.
That wasn't even. That's because Keys.
That's Keys' word.
This season, he has to play well. And he's not being paid to just kind of be good.
Okay.
And whatever, like the money is the money, it's relative,
Right.
but that they made a major move to go and get him, not so that he could be okay.
Right.
That's not what this was for. And I bring up Baker Mayfield, and I haven't been the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield's career trajectory up until this point, but he looked really good yesterday, and he's played well enough to put his team in better positions than Dak Prescott, than Deshaun Watson has with Cleveland. Like, so far, it's been a colossal disappointment at best. So I absolutely think they should be.
Panic is a strong
It's
word.
been beyond disappointment because, like you said, Joy, when we spent $240 million of guaranteed money, and we also at the same time, and I say we as I'm part of the front office thinking,
Right.
you went and got a player that had a lot of mud on him. So you had to deal with the community aspect of it as well. You took a chance. You made a decision in taking a chance that you hadn't had a quarterback probably since like Brian Sipe or something way back when that was any good to the point where Bernie Kosar, to the point where you felt like we need a quarterback. They've gone through, I don't even know the list. The list is like something like 20-something quarterbacks since they had one that was really good. And you took that leap to go get Deshaun, and like you said, Joy, not to win a game or two, but to compete in the AFC every single year. And this year, you start off at 0-1. You were competitive a little bit last year, but then you really start to get competitive once Joe Flacco took over. So how does that look on Deshaun? The team got better with another type of quarterback.
Yeah.
But just to say panic?
Yeah, panic.
Next 4 games, look at this. The Jags. They could probably win that, right?
Yeah, they could.
I don't know.
No, they could.
They could. I mean, but these are the next 4 games. But like to say panic when you got the Jags, the Giants, the Raiders,
but you don't. But
and
don't,
Commanders.
Yeah, but don't look at it like that, though.
No, I'm looking at. That's why I'm not panicking.
Only the Giants. The Giants are the only one that I feel like they will absolutely win. Any of those other games could go the other way.
And you got to go too.
Either way.
You got to go. First of all,
Did you see how poorly they played?
No, they played bad, and I get that just he need to knock some of the dust off from just being rusty.
It looked like they got the dust knocked it off.
He's been rusty since.
He was rusty.
He's been rusty since 2020, man.
But he can play.
At some point,
he can play. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
love
The reason he was paid
but
this
he
contract.
got the benefit of the doubt. Like, he sat out a year, and then he played the end of the season, and everyone gave him the benefit of the doubt because after his suspension and he came in, we were like, okay, that's rusty. Then he had another season, in which case he got injured. This is the season where the benefit of the doubt has run out. Like, you now have to live up to this contract. You now have to live up to the chance that the Browns took on you, or however you want to look at it, the Browns wanting a quarterback. Whatever it was, that happens. And now it's your responsibility to be what they are paying you to be, which is 2020 Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I got them going.
2024.
I got them going 4-1. So we gonna circle back to this. When they 4-1,
they got to go to Las Vegas. They got to go to Washington.
Okay.
It's not easy just to go on the road in the National Football League and win games, no matter what you think about the opponent.
Keith, when I go to Vegas, I'm not losing no sleep over the Raiders. When I go to Washington, I might be at the club the night before, hanging out.
Okay.
Because I'm not losing no sleep over the Commanders.
Okay.
Like
that young quarterback.
Like somebody, like if you had told me they going to Baltimore, oh yeah, I'm in by 8 o'clock. I'm gonna get some rest.
But that
tonight.
young quarterback in Washington is about to figure it out.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's going to figure it out.
But I'm not losing no sleep.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.